Today I'm going to show you guys how to get a hair metal or 80s rock guitar tone. Let's get started. First thing we're going to need is a guitar with humbuckers. I'm going to be using my Les Paul Studio Deluxe 2. And when you play this stuff, you're going to be mostly on the bridge pickup, if not all the time. For an amp, I'm going to use my Marshall JCM 800, which is from 1987. If you don't have that, you can get an amp in a box pedal. Like Marshall does make a JCM 800 pedal now that they put out recently, or any other amp similar to a JCM 800. But that was kind of the staple sound of the 80s. When you set your amp tone, you want to be pretty trebly and mid-focused with not a lot of bass. We're going to want a decent amount of gain. So let's get a good sound out of that. So you got your guitar and amp. I'm going to be testing 3 different overdrive pedals with it, and we'll see which one I want to use for this video. The 3 pedals are the Boss SD1, the ProCo Rat pedal, and the good old Tube Screamer TS9 Ibanez. Next, we're going to add in some reverb, which my amp does have reverb on it, so I'm just going to use that. But you can use any reverb pedal if you don't have reverb on your amp. And we're going for like a hall reverb or moderate to large space reverb. Something that was popular in the 80s was tuning down a half step, so tuning your guitar to E flat. I would say roughly half the bands did this. I'm just going to keep mine in standard because it's a guitar that I keep in standard anyway. And I would recommend using light gauge strings, so probably size 9s if you're playing in standard, or size 10s if you're playing in E flat. As far as playing goes, there's a lot of palm muting used in the 80s for like chugging riffs, and that's how you get that kind of tight rock sound. You can do chugging riffs in the minor keys, specifically E minor, A minor, maybe G minor. And often they'll be with power chords, tritones, and sixths. I'll show you what I mean by that. Another popular thing is to play riffs in the Dorian modes. If you don't know what that is, it's like a minor scale but with a major 6 in it. So like an E Dorian or A Dorian riff. I'm not going to play a specific song, but this should sound familiar to you just because of the way that it's pretty heavily used in the 80s. Tapping for guitar solos is popular, of course, made famous by Eddie Van Halen. You can also do pick tapping. So that's something that it's easy to go pretty fast and it sounds pretty virtuosic, but it's really just tapping the pick on a fret instead of your finger. You can do a lot of arpeggios during your guitar solos. Sometimes sweeps, but it doesn't have to be sweeps. You can pick them or sweep. Pinch harmonics are also very popular in the 80s. Zakk Wylde being kind of the notorious guy who did it a lot. 80s rock guitarists, they definitely knew how to do it, and you'll hear it in a lot of songs too. Random harmonics is another cool trick. I've heard Vito Bratta do it from White Lion, Eddie Van Halen, Winger, a lot of these bands. It's a cool trick and it's easy. Let me show you. There's also some legato licks, like big runs, like some in Tesla. A lot of the bands will do that, especially for solos. At Skid Row as well. For the legato licks, you'll want to know your full major and minor scales. You also might hear, if there's like a clean verse, or if it's like a ballad or something, you might hear some chorus pedal used with a clean amp, or at least a clean channel of your amp. Let's see how that sounds. And one more personal tip of mine, I suggest that you don't keep your guitar strap or guitar so low. Keep it high enough that, you know, it's easy to play and easy to shred on, because you'll need that. I know like a lot of rock players keep it low, but it's harder to play when it's low. I suggest you keep it up pretty high, Beatles style. So there's your 80s guitar tone tutorial, guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want me to do next in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one.